Part 13. In between the difference of people on the right and the left. So here we have people on the right saying the government should not have a say who's essential, who's not essential. Let the market decide for themselves. And why let these big corporations gobble up and close up all the small businesses that are not closed yet? And basically, Amazon, the one who caused that most businesses in the United States are closed down because people can buy everything online, is basically now also causing all the other small businesses to close up. Because think about it, if we wouldn't have Amazon or eBay or these big corporations or Walmart, the government would never be able to say, okay, listen up folks, we gotta close up for 2 months now, we gotta close up for 4 weeks. People would go insane and riot in the streets and say, what do you think you're doing? We need to live. But now that you have these big corporations where people can go into, because supposedly it's safe to walk into a Walmart or a Target, Home Depot or Lowe's, or to go through the driveway from a McDonald's, so you can go ahead and shut down all the other small businesses. And the interesting thing here is that is the people on the right now who's fighting for the small businesses, and people on the left who claim to be the one, they're always worried for the little person, they just don't care. We'll close up everyone in the name of security, close everything up, and we all gonna buy everything online, or we're gonna go to Walmart, or we're gonna go to ShopRite. Close everything up. We'll give the money to the big corporations. But in reality, what do we all believe? That the small person, the average person, should be able to make a living and not fall because of the monopolies that these huge big foreign governments, as I call them, corporations, have. So basically, when you are a person on the right, what you're saying is basically is, let's go back to the first point, live and let live, leave me alone government, don't tell me what to do. So basically a person on the right believes that people are smart enough to take care of themselves, while the people on the left say, well, people are not smart enough to take care of themselves, we need to have government to take care of everyone. But what people on the left are forgetting, that government are just simple people as all of us. Yes, they have higher education, many of them, they went to college and universities, some of them have doctorate degrees, you know. So they trust the government 100%, and many times they make the mistake of trusting the government so much that they will even give up their right. Let's talk about the Second Amendment now. People on the left are willing to give up their right, which is to own a gun, so you can protect yourself from a bad government. Now let me give you the best example here, people on the right. You forget that when you trust in a government, the government keeps changing. It's always different people. Sooner or later, everyone is being replaced. What if the person that you vote in now, and you trust him to take your gun away because he or she is really trustable, right? Well, what happens down the line? This policy is already here. Nobody in the United States is allowed to own guns. Now for you, for the leftists, let me bring you a good example. You hate Trump, right? What do you do if somebody like Trump suddenly becomes a dictator? Decides he doesn't want to go out of the White House. Look what's happening now, right? Well, I believe, I'll be honest with you, I am a Trump supporter. And we talk about the election, maybe we'll get to it later, maybe not. But this is not so much about politics that I want to talk about. It's more like the difference between people on the right and the left. So people like you on the left, what do you do if Trump decides, I'm not getting out of the White House, or Trump or somebody like Trump, and decides, takes over government and has the support of the people with him, and basically replaces the people in the Congress and the Senate? You want to rise up against them. How are you going to do it? You don't have your guns anymore because you gave it up a few years ago, right? Like people in New York and in New Jersey, in California, they gave up their rights to bear arms. How are you going to stand up to a government like that? deep inside you are relying of people in other states like Pennsylvania who are allowed who are allowed to own guns. Deep inside you are relying on them that if you need a gun, you go to one of these states, you'll get your guns. So you deeply do believe in guns. But even if you don't believe in guns, how do you plan to stand up against an oppressive government? The government at the moment now you trust, but how do you know down the road? Hey, it's never happened to the United States. You know why it never happened to the United States? Because you were always able to own guns. The minute you are not able to own guns anymore, the government will take you over. As the saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.